Hello, friends, and welcome to Rise Up in Real Estate, where we are on a quest. We are looking for the extra in the ordinary. And I'm Tad Fulford, and I will be your host on this journey where we will take an honest look at what makes ordinary people extraordinary. Exactly how can we be extra in our personal and our professional lives? In this season of the Rise Up in Real Estate adventure, there will be a monthly rhythm, meaning each month we will have 4 unique episodes. In one episode, we'll tackle a pressing current real estate industry thought. In another, we will chat with a local difference maker in the real estate space. For our 3rd episode, we will host a respected national thought leader. And finally, we will have a 4th bonus and surprise episode. And in each episode, we will be digging into not only what those people think, but who those people are. Along the way, it's my hope that you'll laugh some, you'll be challenged some, you will get inspired some, and if we are lucky, maybe even figure out a way or two you can rise up in your own life and be the best human that you can be. So the challenge is, let's all rise up. Hey friends, welcome to Rise Up in Real Estate, where today we are going to explore the answer to a question that I must get 3 or 4 times a week. It's a question that I get from new agents. It's a question, new real estate agents. It's a question I get from frustrated, experienced real estate agents. It's questions that I get from people that are considering getting into the real estate space. And even outside of that, I spend a lot of my time interviewing people looking to get into real estate, looking to try to forge their entrepreneurial path. And they ask me this question. They say to me, what is it that's most important, a characteristic that's most important that I need to have in order to be successful in this space? And I don't think there's a perfect formula. I mean, I've seen people with totally different personalities, totally different, really ambitions, introverts, extroverts, men, women, young, old. It seems all different combinations of past experiences, no experiences at all. And yet over the past 7 or 8 years, I've spent a majority of my daily work investigating people that are getting into the space and looking really hard at people that have succeeded and people that have failed in our space. Studies show that only 87% of the people, or 87% of the people that get a real estate license will have it 5 years later. So there's obviously a high failure rate. Why is that? What is it about people that makes it so they don't make it in real estate? Why in the world would there only be a 13% success rate? Well, I guess if success is being in this business for more than 5 years, which I think it is, longevity is important. What are the characteristics? What are the traits? A coach that I had for years shared these 6 qualities with me and said that he believed in his 20 or 25 or 30 years of studying this space way more in depth than I had at that point. He said these were the things that rose to the top. These were the characteristics that someone must have. He even went so far as to say, his name's David Scott, and he wrote the material that we use to train our real estate agents here at our company called Momentum. He went so far as to say, if they have all 6, I think they're going to make it. If they're missing 1, I would have my doubts. And if they're missing 2, I wouldn't take a chance. So these are pretty important things. And I have researched over the last 7 or 8 years when I've been interviewing and watching people that have been in and out of this business, people that have gone from zero to hero, people that have gone the other way. What is it about them that stood true? So I want to share these 6 qualities with you. And the reason I share these with you is that if maybe you're out there considering, hey, am I going to get into this business? Maybe you're just starting and you're discouraged. Maybe you've been in it a while and you're discouraged. Maybe you're in it and you're successful. I want you to really, the whole purpose of this episode is for you to do a checkup on yourself. I would hope that you would look at yourself in the mirror and say, do I have this quality or that quality? Write these down and evaluate yourself. And if there are opportunities for you to get better in any of these areas, take them. Okay. So there's 6 qualities. What I like to do too when I'm interviewing folks, especially brand new agents, is ask a question of them during an interview. I'm not going to sit down and say, hey, I'm looking for these 6 qualities. Are you so-and-so? Nope. My process, which is a very strict and thought out, scripted process that I have worked on over the years, I ask questions that let me know if in their past lives they have experienced or have shown these characteristics. Have they been through things in their life that they showed that they were A, B, or C? So I'm going to tell you what those questions are. I'll try to share one question for each quality, and then you can evaluate yourself. So 6 qualities. We will start with number 1. They don't go in any particular order, but I think someone must be committed. They have to be committed. Characteristic number 1. Committed means that they are just all in. Now, how do you ask someone if they are a committed type of person? You can find out based on job history. How long have they been at their previous jobs? Have they hopped around a bunch? Have they been from marriage to marriage? Do they seem wishy-washy on sports teams? Do they seem committed to, like, explain to me about your physical fitness. Tell me about your diet. Tell me about these are all questions that I would ask in an interview to tell me if someone is committed. Are they going to be here or there in this business for the long haul? Are they in it to win it? Can you tell that for sure in someone taking in a new venture like real estate? You really can't, because they're going to experience things that they've never experienced before. They're going to face new things. They're going to struggle with different things. But if you find out from someone through asking them questions about what they've experienced in their life, you can see patterns of, is that person a jumper? Maybe even when you're talking to them and they've been to 3 or 4 real estate companies in the last 3 or 4 years, they can explain that away like, I just haven't found what I'm looking for. But it might be because they're on a quest for greener grass rather than being committed to watering the grass that they already have. If you live or own property along the coast of South Carolina, you probably need insurance. We Insure Advocates is a locally owned independent agency with industry-leading service support. Our team of customer-centric agents can explain your coverage options and help you craft an insurance program that fits your needs and budget. Data-driven for better value, people-led for better service. That's the difference of we. For all of your property insurance needs, please find us at weinsureadvocates.com or call us at 843-491-6990. Second characteristic, hand in hand with committed. So ask yourself, are you a committed type of person? And don't beat yourself up. Now, if you find that you're not, like if you can be honest with yourself and say, I don't really exemplify committed like characteristics. If you look in the mirror and you say, not really, how can I improve? What are things that I can do on a daily basis to get better at being committed? Second quality that I always look for is how motivated is someone? How motivated is someone? So committed and motivated. Now, they're not the same thing, right? Committed is the characteristic of their heart. Like how much stick-to-itiveness do they have? What is their ability to go get something, to be all in? Motivated is what is it that drives them? This is like the why question. What is it that they're after? What is their pursuit? What's their goal? What are they trying to achieve? And you can ask them questions like, if this were to go exactly like you wanted, what will this career allow you to have that you don't have currently? You can also ask them about their current situation. You'll know these things as you interview. Are they single parents? Do they have a mortgage? Talk to them about their financial situation. I mean, you should. This is a business conversation. Where are they financially? What have they been given? What have they earned? Ask them about something that they've accomplished in their life. What was your greatest accomplishment? Tell me about something that you you achieved in your past that you're proud of. You'll see the way that they lean forward in the chair and talk, and you ask them, what are you excited about in this business? And you can tell if they just say, oh, I like people and I like houses, pretty soon they won't like people or houses, right? You have to find more than that. If they say something to you like, well, I'm a single mom. I've been a single mom for a few years now, and it's just time for me to take care of my family like they deserve to be taken care of. That is a deep-rooted motivation. You can see the difference. And that person probably will maybe also committed with that drive. Number 1, committed. Number 2, motivated. Number 3, is this person patient? Patient would be number 3. I don't know that any of these hold more weight than the other, but this is a big one. I think especially for brand new people, and those of you that have some experience in real estate are nodding your head. It's just not going to happen as fast as they think it will. It's just not going to unfold the way that they think. And the question is going to be, are they going to be patient enough to watch it happen for them? Now, this is something that you could ask them questions like, tell me about a project that you worked on in the past and what the outcome was of it, and was it like you expected? If you find out about their work career, what have they done in their work career in the past? And you notice I'm asking a bunch of questions about the past because I'm trying to uncover what kind of person they are rather than just asking them. If I said, are you patient? 100% or maybe 95% of the people are going to say, oh yeah, I'm patient. I've learned that over the years. I've learned to be patient. But if you ask them, don't even bring these words up, and you ask them a question like, tell me about a project that you worked on in your past that took longer than you thought. What was that experience like for you? And you can see in their face whether they are patient or not. It's important to talk to them about how long this is going to take, what it's going to feel like, what it's going to look like. And I know you don't want to be doomsday, but you also don't want to forget to tell them this is a tough business. I feel like sometimes I'm a little bit too hard on this, but I want somebody to walk away and think that in 6 months you may not have a transaction. You probably need to have some savings. You need to have the ability to just be patient while you're doing the work. These are the kinds of conversations that you have when you say to someone, you're probably used to in your work career that you do the work for 40 or 50 hours a week and you get a paycheck at the end of that. In this business, you may work those 60 to 70 hours a week and still not get a paycheck. Your paycheck may not come for some time. How do you think that might feel? And you can tell when you look at someone how they're handling that explanation. So number 3 for me would be patience. Number 4, and my favorite word that I'll say on this podcast, because I feel like for me, this is the secret. If I had to put number 1 or a star by one of these 6, this would be the one. For me, resilience is super important. Committed, motivated, patient. And number 4 would be resilient. And resilient is that ability to bounce back. That ability to get, you've heard it said this before, if I get knocked down 9 times, I'm getting up 9 times. If I get punched in one cheek, I'm going to turn the other cheek. I'm not going to quit. Now this, you can't just ask someone, hey, are you resilient? Are you tough? Can you last? This is where I ask the question something like this. Tell me the most difficult thing you've gone through in your life. Describe that to me. I've had some sad stories told to me. I've had some tears shed. Some people say I'm not comfortable sharing that with you right now. But you can tell as you hear these people tell the stories what they've been through. If they haven't ever been through a tough situation, it doesn't mean that they're not going to make it in real estate. But if they have, they understand what it means to stick to something or to make it through a tough time, then you have more chance for them to win. They have to be willing to deal with adversity. They have to be willing to hear no. They have to be willing to know that even though things seem perfect, they're going to fall apart. People are not going to always tell you the truth. They're not going to be loyal. They're not like you are. So you have to be resilient. You have to be willing to bounce back. I say this quite often. The only way to lose in real estate or in life is to quit. And you're trying to uncover whether this person is a quitter or this person is a doer. You also can look at their work history and see this, just like it goes hand in hand with commitment. Are they resilient? Have they been through adversity at their workplace? Now, we've been through a rough time in our country for the last 2 years, 3 years with COVID. You can also tell from those experiences how resilient someone is. I guess where I'm headed with this is if you're getting into real estate because you want more free time, you like people, and you like houses, beware. You need to be committed, motivated, patient, and resilient.
Do you enjoy this podcast and you're wondering how you can start your own? Well, you're in luck. We help entrepreneurs launch their podcast in 4 weeks. My name is Haili Murch, and my team and I manage this podcast. I'm a podcast expert who specializes in helping entrepreneurs launch their podcasts. Podcasts are a great way to expand your audience, provide a free resource for your audience, and to grow and monetize your business. We have openings this fall to help entrepreneurs start their podcasts. We would love to help you achieve this goal before the end of the year. Don't keep waiting. The podcast world needs your voice. We also offer support after the launch process to help maintain your podcast, and we do provide other services to current podcasters. If any of this sounds like something you want to do and need support with your podcast journey, please contact me at hello@HailiMurch.com, HailiMurch.com, or see the links in the show notes to book a call. We cannot wait to help you start your podcast.
Number 5, another one that I love, and this is one that everyone says they are, is teachable. Number 5 out of the 6 is teachable. What do you know, and how much do you think you know, and is there more that you can learn? And this is, you can't just ask someone, hey, are you teachable? Because 100% of the people, or 95, will say, yeah, I'm teachable. I always know that I need to learn new things, and I'm willing to dig in and learn those things. But when you start talking to them, like if they ask you about the training program, and then if they were to ask you what of it is mandatory, red flag. If they're asking what's mandatory, that's a red flag. That's not someone who probably is most teachable. You can ask them questions like, tell me about a situation in your past work experience where there was something presented to you that you did not know, that you had to go study and come back and apply to a situation at your past job. If they look at you like that's never happened, then you need to continue to dig. If they can explain to you how, hey, I'm a real learner. You can also see this on their resume, although I'm not a big fan of real estate resumes. How many classes have they taken? Now, we all know that we say this quite frequently on this show, the real reason for training is action. It's not just all about learning. It's all about mastery. It's all about life change. It's all about learning something, analyzing your life, your situation, your activities against this new thing. And if you feel it's better, taking action and changing some of your activities to mirror what you've learned. And as you discover these things about people, this is a big one because I think that a lot of people come to the table with, they might be new in this business, but hey, they come to the table with a lot of experiences, and they may be 30, 40, 50 years old, and they feel like they are wise just because they have years. But I like to tell folks, ask them, have you ever said the words, I have tried that before and it doesn't work? That's not a teachable person. You might ask them a question like this: what do you think of open houses? Or what do you think of mailers or phone calls? Like, how do you feel about dialing the phone for prospects? And you can tell by the answers to these questions whether someone is open or closed-minded. So we've got committed, motivated, patient, resilient, and teachable. The 6th thing that I always look for, and remember, David Scott says 6 out of 6, they got a great shot. 5 out of 6, not so sure. 4 out of 6, not worth the risk. So number 6 for me and for us would be, are they willing to be held accountable? Accountable. So committed, motivated, patient, resilient, teachable, and accountable. Now, accountable is next level. Accountable is being willing to say, hey, you're obviously teachable if you're willing to be held accountable. When I say willing to be held accountable, it means you would respond to accountability, not, hey, you can ask me these questions, but are you willing to respond to those questions? Like when you say to someone, by next week, I'm going to do so-and-so, and they say, hey, did you do it? And you say, no, that's not accountability. I mean, it kind of is, but you have to continue to do the tasks that have been asked of you. Accountability is being willing to say, I don't know what I don't know, but once I do, I'll be willing to try to change my activities to match it. And you can ask me about those things. If someone isn't like a question that you might ask this is, tell me about do you go to the gym? Have you dieted in the past? These questions might seem very personal, but by the time I've asked them, I've already built rapport and a relationship, and these things make sense. But there are lots of environments where accountability is acceptable, but not oftentimes in the workplace is it acceptable, especially when someone's making the jump from employee to entrepreneur. Part of the reason they might want to move from being an employee to an entrepreneur is to escape accountability. If they are too married to the I want free time, I want freedom of schedule, that's worth digging into, because it could be because they're trying to avoid accountability, avoid being asked to perform to a certain standard and being held to a standard and penalized or rewarded based on their performance. If they seem to be so married to the idea that we're trying to get away from any kind of schedule, you need to dig in on whether it's been, and you can even ask them, what do you think of the word accountability? A lot of people getting into this business, I'm telling you, they're not thinking they're going to be held accountable to anything. And in a lot of places you go, a lot of companies that you go to, in my opinion, a lot of places you hang your license, it is real estate by yourself. Like, you're not going to be taught anything. There's not going to be an expectation on you. There's not going to be any standards that you have to live to, and much less any accountability. Like, hey, you haven't done these things. An exaggerated example of this is if you were to join a team. That's the ultimate level of accountability. Now the team leader is giving you probably paying your way maybe and giving you leads. They're going to expect you to perform to a certain standard, and they're going to hold you accountable to that. They're probably going to ask you for reporting on how many texts, phone calls, emails you've made each week, what kind of results you've gotten, how many people answered, how many people did you talk to, how many appointments did you set, how many conversions have you made, and you're going to be held to a standard of accountability. If someone does not seem interested in that, if they're just here, they overemphasize the idea they're just here to help people, then you need to be careful, because as they face things that are going to ask, that they're going to be expected to change their behavior because they're teachable, right? Then there's going to be a level of, hey, I need some help with that. I want to be in a group that is all about helping me by being held accountable. So here are the 6 things. Measure yourself. I'd love to hear how you measure yourself. How do you feel like you've done with these 6 things? Committed, motivated, patient, resilient, teachable, and accountable. Are you 1 out of 6, 5 out of 6, 6 out of 6? Do you feel like you're 1 out of 6 and you've had a really crazy, successful real estate career? I'd love to have you as a guest on the podcast. If you feel like you're not any of those things and you've done really well, I'd love to know. If you feel like there's something else that needs to be on that list that's not on there now, I'd love to talk to you about that. You can find me at riseupinrealestate@gmail.com, or you can call me. You can come to the podcast on any of our sites, any of the social media sites, and find me, message me there and say, hey, I'd love to come chat with you about this, because that's the whole reason we're doing this podcast. So here are the 6 things that we talked about today that you need to be successful in this business. Love to chat with you about those. I appreciate your listening ear. Come and follow us and subscribe and rate the show. You guys have a great day. It's been fun talking to you. Until next time. Well, hey, that's a wrap, folks. Thank you so much for listening to Rise Up in Real Estate. If you liked hanging out with us today, please find us on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube at Rise Up in Real Estate. Also, follow us right now on your favorite podcast host to hear more episodes. We really appreciate you spending some of your time with us. And until next time, let's do each other a favor and all help each other rise up.